let's talk about taglines. You know that feeling, right? You're in a room, everybody's trying to come up with that one perfect, brilliant phrase for the brand. And what starts as a creative brainstorm just kind of dissolves into chaos. Well, today, we're going to get into the actual science behind crafting a great tagline.
Yeah, believe it or not, this whole chaotic process actually has a name. It's called the tagline jam. It's that all-too-familiar moment when one person throws out an idea, then somebody else riffs on it, and suddenly the whole room thinks they're Don Draper. It's messy, often frustrating, and it's exactly the problem we're here to solve.
And look, there's a really good reason everyone gets so worked up about it. The stakes are just crazy high. The source material we're looking at today puts it pretty bluntly. The tagline is the single most important asset you have. Think about that. It's the one thing people are actually going to remember about your brand, for better or for worse.
So, if it's that important, why is it so ridiculously hard to nail down, right? Why does it always feel like you're just throwing ideas at a wall and hoping something, anything, sticks? Okay, let's break down the real problem here. See, here's the secret. When you're struggling to write a great tagline, it's probably not a failure of creativity. It's actually a signal. It's what the author calls a canary in the coal mine. Basically, if you can't sum up your brand in a few powerful words, it's a huge red flag that your entire brand positioning, the very foundation of it all, is probably a little shaky.
So how do we fix it then? Well, the research shows there are basically two different ways to go. And here's the twist. They often completely contradict each other. Let's start with the first path, which is all about the science of being, well, likable. This is the winning heart strategy. And this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. Winning hearts has a real, measurable impact. Get this, the research found that a tagline that's just likable can increase website click-throughs by a whopping 27%. That's compared to a tagline that's simply built from memory. So yeah, likability isn't a vanity metric, it actually gets people to do stuff.
Okay, so how do you actually make a tagline likable? The rules are kind of funny. They're like the advice you'd give a teenager going to their first school dance. You want to use distinct, different-sounding words. So, work out in the sun, good. Sun, fun, run, bad. Stick to simple, everyday words. And here's a big one. Avoid using the brand name. It just feels a little too salesy. Be clear, be concrete, and make sure the benefit is totally obvious. It's a real tightrope walk.
Oh, and here's a quick heads up. Be super careful with wordplay. You might think a phrase like raising the bar sounds clever, right? It means higher standards. But for some people, it might subconsciously mean making things harder or creating barriers. And the weird part is, they won't even know why they don't like your tagline. They just won't. That negative feeling just sticks.
All right, let's switch gears completely. That was path number 1, being likable. Now for path number 2, being remembered. This isn't about winning hearts. This is about sticking in minds. It's about getting your brand to live rent-free in someone's head. And folks, this is where it gets wild, because pretty much all the rules we just learned, yeah, you can throw them right out the window.
Okay, just to show you how powerful this stuff is, listen to this fact. It's mind-blowing. If you take your tagline and just cut one single word from it, the impact on someone's memory is the same as if they saw the longer version for an extra 5.5 years. I mean, come on, that's how much brevity matters.
So what are the rules for getting remembered? Rule number 1, obviously, is make it shorter. And remember how we said no rhyming for likability? Well, for memorability, similar, jingly words are totally fine. Sun, fun, run is back, baby. And using your brand name? Go for it. The last one's a bit nerdy, but it's about moderate syntactic complexity. That's just a fancy way of saying make it a little interesting to say. So not just soda is good, but something more like drink the bubbly best.
And here we are. This is the central conflict, right? You can see it right there. To be liked, use distinct words, no brand name, keep it simple. To be remembered, rhyming is cool, the brand name is fine, and a little complexity is good. They're basically opposites, so what on earth are you supposed to do? Which road do you take?
Well, you can take a deep breath, because thankfully, you don't actually have to choose. There is a third way, especially for what the author calls high-involvement products. You know, the really considered purchases like B2B software or security tools. For those, there's a hybrid formula that gives you the best of both worlds.
So here's the recipe. It's a 4-part formula. Number 1, it's got to be short. That's from the Remembered playbook. Numbers 2 and 3, it needs to be concrete and humorous. Those two are all about being likable. And finally, number 4,
It should have that moderate complexity we talked about to help it stick. Short, concrete, humorous, complex. That's it. That's the magic formula.
Let's look at a real-world example. A company called Rad Security came up with signatures are history. It's perfect, right? It's short, it's concrete, it's got this little bit of a smirk, a bit of an attitude to it, and it worked so well that engineers, their target audience, would literally walk up to their conference booth just to say how much they loved that line. Boom. Instant differentiation.
Okay, here's another one I love. Fusion Auth. Their tagline is, "Auth so modern you can download it." It's just brilliant. It's this super cheeky wordplay because normally when you think downloadable software, you think old and clunky, right? But they completely flip that on its head to highlight a huge selling point for their audience. It's funny, it's clever, and you get what they mean instantly.
But wait, there's one more thing. Your amazing new tagline can't do all the heavy lifting by itself. It needs a sidekick, a partner in crime. And that brings us to the final and super important piece of this whole puzzle, the subhead. And the analogy for this is just perfect. Think of your tagline like a purse, or maybe just your pockets. It holds the absolute essentials, right? Your phone, your wallet, your keys. The subhead, that's the backpack. The backpack is where you put everything else you need to get through the day. The purse is for the quick hit. The backpack carries all the substance.
So the subhead is your workhorse. It expands on that clever claim you made in the tagline. It's where you get really specific about your category, who you're for, and what makes you different. It's an awesome spot for all your important SEO keywords. And let's be honest, it's the perfect place to put all those other pretty good taglines that didn't quite win the top spot. So that's the science of it. And it really all comes down to this one question. The next time you find yourself in one of those tagline jams and everyone's just shouting ideas, stop and ask, are we just going with our gut here? Or are we actually using the science of what makes people both like and remember a brand?